This morning on Sunrise, West Texas prepares for a blast of winter weather coming soon. How you can stay safe and warm when it does. Plus, folks in Midland are concerned about a notice of arsenic levels in the water. We'll break it all down for you.
It is going to be a nice sunny day today with temperatures reaching into the 60s. You are watching News West 9 Sunrise.
Well, good morning. Thanks for waking up with News West 9 Sunrise. We've made it to the middle of the week. It is Wednesday, January 10th. Of course, everybody talking about that cold spell that's headed our way, so we think that everybody needs to be prepared for when it does get here. Now, Monday's strong winds did cause power outages across West Texas. There's a chance that that could happen next week when temperatures drop to below freezing. Start preparing now. Make sure that your heaters are working properly. Use candles to look for drafts around your house, and then when you find them, seal them. Close the vents and doors in rooms that are not being used, and keep your blinds open. That will let the sunlight in, and it will also help heat your home. And if you know someone who has no place to stay, the Salvation Armies in Midland and Odessa do have warming shelters set up. They open whenever temperatures reach 36 degrees or lower for more than 2 days in a row. The Midland shelter is located at 600 East Wall. The Odessa shelter is at 810 East 11th. Now, Aurora, we don't know exactly how cold it's going to get. We know what we're expecting. So these are just tips that people can follow to get ready for when that does happen.
Yeah, it's going to get very chilly out there, and it's going to be really different than what we're feeling for today, tomorrow. So it can kind of sneak up on you. So, especially the older community, if they're not aware of it, it's definitely good to kind of check on your neighbor and also help out your neighbor as well when you know that things like this are starting to come into the area, and especially for those who really need to stay warm and also need their power. So we are going to talk about some warm temperatures today, but
before that cold gets
before it comes, and we are going to prepare. You know, we could get out and prepare today. But look at this. We're looking at those below average temperatures heading our way, and we're expecting this to kind of come into Sunday and then lasting into maybe Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday. Below average temperatures, meaning we are going to get into those freezing categories and even into the teens. Some areas it's going to feel like single digits. So stick with us as we head throughout the week and even into the weekend. The whole entire country really getting this Arctic blast moving in. So we all are going to feel the rupt of it heading into next week. But today, enjoy your day today. It is going to be nice. We're looking at 30s already starting off the morning, warmer than we have been these last couple of days. So 39 degrees. Winds are on the light breezy side in some areas, a little bit gusty or further to the south. And it is very dry as well. 23 degrees in Marfa. So chillier out there. And the winds are a little bit more gustier. We're looking at 38 degrees in Andrews, 36 in Big Spring. But take a look today. We are going to warm up into the 60s. It's going to be a nice day out there. If you have a chance to go ahead and play outside, kids, once you get home from school, I think it's going to be a great day out there to go ahead and do that. We'll talk about how long these 60s are going to stick around for us and what we could potentially start to feel heading into the weekend and next week in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Aurora. San Angelo police asking for help to find one of 3 missing teens who escaped from custody Monday night. 15-year-olds Julia Martinez and Trevon Wyatts were caught yesterday. The 17-year-old Tajon Walker is still on the run. Police say they attacked an officer at the Tom Green County Juvenile Justice Center before they got away. Now, people that live around the center have been told to stay inside and keep their doors and windows locked. Now, if you see Walker anywhere in our area, do not approach him. Just call your local police immediately. And Odessa police are asking for help investigating a sexual assault case. They hope that you can help identify this key suspect in these pictures. If you recognize the man you see on your screen, call Odessa police at 335-4935. Well, Midland residents are concerned about their water after they got a notice about arsenic levels. TCEQ notified the city that the drinking water has exceeded the maximum contaminant level for arsenic. The city says there's no need to worry about it, and then you actually don't have to do anything to your water at home to fix the problem.
There's no treatment anybody needs to do at their own house. Even the letter states from the state, it isn't any reason to switch your water source. It's just, if we were doing this for years and years and years, then you would start seeing problems. But again, since 2016, we've never got to these numbers before, and we'll be out of these numbers next month by the time they re-look at how they send water through the wells.
The city has already been looking into treating the water and getting rid of this contaminant. They hope to be out of the levels by next month, as you just heard, when they recheck the water supply. The state of health care improved for folks in Odessa and the Permian Basin as a whole last night. The city council allocated ARPA funds, that's money that they got during the pandemic, to 2 impactful projects. Tyler Dupnick has more on how much they gave. Tyler.
Yeah, that's right. City Council is providing a total of $1.5 million from that ARPA fund. $1 million will be going towards the Permian Basin Behavioral Health Center, and the other $500,000 will be used to help restart a free health clinic on 42nd Street. Russell Tippin is the president and CEO of Medical Center Health System, and he says the city of Odessa became the first government entity to contribute to the Permian Basin Behavioral Health Center Fund. Odessa Mayor Javier Hoven explained their unanimous decision.
We want to invest not only in our employees, in our city, but also in our other entities like the hospital, and we want to be a good partner. So I'm very proud of this council to be able to recognize the importance of what our hospitals are going and what our constituents are going through, especially in their health care, things that are unseen that are very prevalent in our community, and it's going to continue. And so I think this is a very wise investment. We're not only investing in today, but we are investing way in the future.
Investing in the future of mental health services that will benefit the entire region by getting those in need out of the emergency room and jails and into professional long-term care. Now, Tippin told me that they are still raising money for the Behavioral Health Center, a $80 to $100 million project that has already broken ground. As for the free clinic, Tippin added that with the facility and equipment already in place, they should be able to offer services soon to those who cannot afford anything else.
All right, thanks, Tyler. The Midland Fire Department is getting a bit of a facelift, and that's thanks to some very generous donations. MEC Petroleum Corporation donated $40,000. Chevron donated a little more than $130,000 at yesterday's city council meeting. Now that money will be used for renovations at the Central Fire Station, plus a new wellness center where firefighters can go work out.
It'll give us a cleaner, more state-of-the-art place to work out and be healthier, be stronger, fitter, help prevent cardiovascular disease for our firefighters, hopefully be better at our jobs, live longer into retirement, and just be overall healthier.
You will also get some new equipment like the Lucas machine. That is a mechanical CPR machine that will help save more patient lives. Renovations are also on the way for Beal Park in Midland. City Council approved a 3-phase project to install new playing fields. Existing soccer fields will be renovated as well. Now, phase 1 will add new irrigation and more space. Phase 2 includes a splash pad, amphitheater, and extra restrooms. Phase 3 will provide extra parking, a potential RV park, and an expanded soccer field.
In the bigger picture, we also want to be able to bring tournaments and to bring those soccer teams from around West Texas and even beyond back to Midland to have soccer tournaments and that type of thing in this facility.
The total cost of the project is an estimated $36 million. $26 million will come from the city. The remaining $10 million will come from private donations. Now, the fire department and Beal Park are not the only ones getting some love. The I-20 Wildlife Preserve is too. Renovations are planned to fix sewage issues there. They will also add a lift station to replace the old one to help move out any sewage that may be affecting the preserve. It will also remove any excess sewage from the current system.
What it's going to do is allow us to move sewer that's in a current system into a separate system that's further down. The system that is currently right now at the I-20 Preserve is over capacity, meaning there's more sewer than the system can actually handle. So if we run into any problems, we end up having a sewer overflow, which we had about 2 years ago.
Sewage is a pollutant that is harmful to the trees, grass, and the water. The lift system will cost about $4.5 million and will take about 4 months to install. And a reminder for Midland drivers this morning, if the Midkiff Bridge is part of your daily commute, there will be some major work going on starting this week. Crews will be lifting the main bridge deck support beams at the Midkiff and Cotton Flat Bridge sites. Cranes will be moving into the Midkiff site and start lifting operations tomorrow, Saturday, and Monday. The east and westbound left main lanes will be closed from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, so crews can work more safely. And if you travel on North Grant in Odessa on a regular basis, you may want to look for a different route. Starting today, the right-hand southbound lane from 12th to 15th Street will be closed. Crews will be installing a new curb, gutter, and sidewalk. Now, the pinch in traffic is expected to last about 2 weeks as workers finish that project.
Oh, we do have some wind alerts out there. We're looking near the Trans-Pecos Alpine higher elevations near Pecos, and then also further off towards the west. Now, winds can get up to about 50, even 60 miles per hour in the higher elevations. Most of us not really underneath those wind alerts, but we got winds coming into tomorrow to talk about in just a bit.
Republican presidential candidates are preparing for the Iowa caucus as the GOP frontrunner juggles court cases and the campaign trail. I'm Bree Jackson in Washington with the latest.
Taking a look outside the city of Midland, we are feeling temperatures in those 30s this morning. Clear skies out there. Traffic is flowing pretty well. We're going to warm up today. Details are next.
Five days to go until the Iowa caucuses. Republican candidates are making their closing arguments to voters in the Hawkeye State. The GOP frontrunner is back on the trail today after making his case in federal court in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Donald Trump and his legal team argue he should be immune from charges related to the 2020 election. Bree Jackson has the latest from Washington. Good morning, Bree.
Good morning, Victor. The federal appeals court here in Washington, D.C. is hearing former President Trump's case on an expedited schedule, so we could see a ruling from them soon. Less than a week before the first major test of presidential candidates' electability, the GOP frontrunner, former President Trump's, focus was on convincing a federal court of appeals that he has absolute immunity from prosecution for charges related to efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
It's the opening of a Pandora's box, and that's a very sad thing that's happened with this whole situation.
The three-judge panel appeared skeptical, questioning the scope of the immunity claim.
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first.
So your answer is no.
My answer is qualified yes.
Mr. Trump's legal team contends that a president must be impeached and convicted by the Senate before they can be prosecuted. Trump was impeached but acquitted by the upper chamber during his 2021 impeachment trial. The Justice Department argues nothing in the Constitution shields him.
The president has a unique constitutional role, but he is not above the law.
With the 2024 presidential race heating up, the cold weather in Iowa has Trump's Republican rivals reaching out to voters any way they can.
If you all come out on January 15th, and I'm told it's going to be a very cold day.
Why in October, November, and December, when I was like, it's cold. And they were like, no, this is mild. I get it now.
I think our voters are the type that are going to come out, they vote.
Iowa voters will have their say on January 15th. And tonight, former President Trump will hold a town hall in Iowa at the same time that his top Republican rivals, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, go head-to-head in the last debate before the caucuses. In Washington, Bree Jackson. Victor, back to you.
All right, thank you, Bree. Well, this morning we're talking about that storm system that swept across much of the southeast yesterday, leaving a trail of damage in its wake. More than a dozen tornadoes were reported along the Gulf Coast and in the southeast. At least 3 people were killed. Now, the tornado outbreak also caused power outages and downed trees across much of the region. A tree fell onto a road in Jacksonville, Florida yesterday afternoon, causing a crash. Luckily, no one was injured there. In a separate incident, though, in Mobile, Alabama, Monday night, a pontoon boat got stranded in a storm. High winds threatened to tip the boat over. Millions are still under flood watches and wind alerts as a result of this severe weather. Now, Aurora, luckily for us, nothing like that is coming to or is currently in West Texas. We're looking at that Arctic blast coming, but for now, it's going to be warmer before all of that happens, right?
Yeah, we are going to feel some warm temperatures before we do start to cool down. And we got a taste of that system with those gusty winds that we felt on Monday. Now, looking at that system, it has pushed off further towards the east. A very strong low pressure system out there. High pressure is going to start to set in for us today. And we are going to feel some dry conditions and a little bit windy out there near the higher elevations, pushing in those southerly winds. So we're getting that warmer air kicking into the area. So we do have a couple of wind alerts out there near the higher elevations. This is including the cities of Alpine and also Fort Davis, Marfa, Pecos. You are also in there near Van Horn and areas near Carlsbad. Further off towards the west, if you're traveling on I-10, you may run into some kind of windy conditions on those roads. So putting 2 hands and holding tight on that vehicle today. Now, wind alerts across most of the Permian Basin, they're not in effect for today, but we may see them as we head into tomorrow. So let's go ahead and take a look at our wind gust tracker as we head into this afternoon. It'll be a little bit breezy out there for us here in Midland and Odessa, just about 19-mile-per-hour winds as we head further into the afternoon. Now, overnight, we're looking at the winds, starting to pick up a little bit, starting to change directions and coming out of the southwest. So you can see those gusty winds out there near the higher elevations, near the Guadalupe Mountains, already starting off in the morning. A breezy start to the first half of the day, and then it's going to be a very windy half of the rest of the day. So we're looking at gusts at about 30, 25 miles per hour around dinner time. Near Pecos, we're looking at 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So winds will be a little bit stronger further to the south, and those winds will start to come a little bit more westerly. So we're going to feel those winds moving in, and we can expect also some blowing dust as well, even heading into the late evening hours around 9 o'clock. Still very, very windy, but those winds will start to calm down as we head further into the weekend. Today we're going to enjoy some nice temperatures. We're looking at 60s as the highs today, so gradually warming up. A nice day to probably go ahead and sit outside and have some lunch in areas where we're not underneath those advisories, of course. For us here in the Permian Basin, we're reaching into those low 60s, about 64 degrees. A little bit warmer near Pecos at 67, mid to upper 50s out there near the Davis Mountains.
6:20 a.m. Time for your news now. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. That information was released in a statement by officials from Walter Reed National Military Medical Center yesterday. Secretary Austin underwent a minimally invasive surgery to treat and cure the cancer December 22nd. He returned home but was readmitted to the hospital days later with complications. The Pentagon is reviewing who knew what, when, and why the White House was not told. Austin is still in the hospital but is expected to make a full recovery. 13 people in Ecuador face terrorism charges after storming a television station with guns and explosives. Thousands of viewers across the country watched in horror for 15 minutes until the signal was cut off. All the suspects were arrested, but officials have not said who is behind it. This is the latest in a series of attacks across the South American country. Ecuador's president is ordering state authorities to neutralize the groups who may be behind the televised violence. Ecuadorian law establishes a penalty of up to 13 years in prison for anyone convicted of terrorism. The FAA has approved the process for airlines to inspect grounded Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets so they can return to service. This comes just days after that mid-air decompression explosion on an Alaska Airlines MAX 9. Now, the Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes will remain grounded until operators complete enhanced inspections, which include the left and right cabin door exit plugs, door components, and fasteners. The FAA issued a statement saying, quote, "The safety of the flying public, not speed, will determine the timeline for returning the Boeing 737-9 MAX to service." Sin City got a glimpse into the future. What did they see? We'll tell you next. just turned 625. An unexpected new trend is surging among young children. Those under 13 are flocking to beauty stores to buy high-end skincare products. Emily Ikeda has more on the trend that might not be good for children that young.
So I'm going to start off by using the Daily Face Cleanser.
This holiday season, pricey skincare products topped many wish lists. But it's not just adults that were hoping to find them in their stockings, but increasingly young people too.
There's obviously face wash, and then there's moisturizers, and then there's like kind of like a redness reducer kind of thing.
12-year-old Julia Panuto is part of the beauty industry's newest consumer group, Generation Alpha, children born in 2010 and beyond. And these skincare kids are obsessed.
Whose skincare routine is more expensive?
Oh, my
Mine.
daughter's, yes.
Many of the teenagers drawing inspiration from Get Ready With Me videos on social media, showing off lengthy and expensive routines.
Let's do my 10-step skincare routine.
This video of Kim Kardashian's 10-year-old daughter North racking up millions of views.
Gen Alpha was literally born with a smartphone in their hand. And so the access to watching influencers on platforms like TikTok and YouTube, where they're seeing these influencers.
Annual skincare sales exploded from $7.8 to $9.2 billion over the last few years. But some adult shoppers are not pleased by overcrowded stores.
Why are we letting our kids walk around like they're 30 years old?
And the employees literally like, it's actually retinol. Like, you actually don't need that.
Ulta Beauty telling NBC News in a statement it does not proactively promote skincare to Gen Alpha, adding, as guests are shopping for younger skin types, education around ingredients and products focused on specific skincare needs is more important than ever. Many dermatologists applaud a good skincare routine at any age, but say young people should stick to the basics like cleansers and sunscreen to avoid irritating their skin. Laura Panuto says she reads the skincare labels for her daughter closely.
I think if she can learn to take care of it in a good, healthy way, then I'm okay with it.
A heads up for parents this morning. A study from the Journal of Pediatrics shows an increase in doctor's visits caused by anxiety disorders. Health officials say anxiety in kids has tripled since the pandemic. It comes as children get into their routines as they return to school and spend more and more time on social media. The study also found an increase of kids receiving medication instead of therapy. Now, everyone has stress in their lives and in different amounts. It all depends on the different stressors.
We don't want to eliminate anxiety, but sometimes it gets to a point where it starts to interfere with someone's life.
Parents are urged to look for signs like withdrawing from friends and family, having a hard time focusing, or more headaches and stomach aches.
Well, we're taking a look outside the city of Midland right now. Clear skies out there. We do have a little bit of a breeze to start off this morning, looking at just about 9 miles per hour. Now, winds are starting to shift. We're going to get those southerly winds kicking in today. We're going to get some warmer air as well moving in. 39 degrees as you're heading out. It is still dry. We're looking at dew points at 10. And I've noticed a little bit more of those nosebleeds in my house. I don't know if you have, but it definitely is dry out there. So take care of yourself as you're getting ready this morning and heading out. You do want to kind of layer up. It's still in the 30s, but we're going to have lots of sunshine heading further into the morning. 46 degrees just around 10 o'clock. And then as we head around lunchtime, we're looking at some warmer temperatures again. 56 degrees just around noon. And then we do get into those 60s by 2 o'clock. We haven't felt these 60s in quite some time. So I think it's a nice little relief out there. We're looking at low 60s out there for us here in the Permian Basin, 67 in Fort Stockton and also near Pecos. So a little bit warmer, 50s near the higher elevations, 58 degrees near Marfa and also near Fort Davis, 64 degrees in Big Bend. So a nice little spread of some warmer temperatures for us today. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our 9-day forecast. How long are these temperatures going to stick around for? until tomorrow. We'll get a little bit warmer, a few degrees warmer, just about 65 degrees. Now, our overnight lows, once we get this cold front moving in on Thursday, it is going to bring in those gusty winds again from the west, and then we are going to drop into those 20s again for our overnight lows. So waking up Friday, it's going to be a little chilly out there, and then we're only going to reach into the 50s, so cooler temperatures into Friday, just about 51 degrees. But we are going to be dry as we head into the weekend. We're not really expecting any rain with these